All right, so picture this. It's a Saturday morning. No school for a young Boy Scout named Leo. But this isn't a lazy Saturday for him. Nope. He's got something weighing on him, a confession he has to make. And what he's about to find out is that not all confessions are created equal. Some are a lot heavier than you'd think. And at the heart of all this is a single line from his grandfather. This one sentence, it's everything. It's the family code, it's all about honor, responsibility, a real legacy. And poor Leo, he's about to get a crash course in just how heavy that legacy can be.
So let's get into it. It all starts with what Leo thinks is just a funny story. A simple confession about a little prank that went a bit wrong.
Let's set the scene. You can practically smell the coffee brewing, right? His grandfather, Valmore, is just reading the morning paper. But Leo, he's a million miles away. He can't shake this one image from his head. His scout leader, Mr. Tilford, just looking so disappointed. So he figures, all right, I've just got to get this over with. He leans into his grampy, like he's sharing some huge secret.
So what was the big secret? Well, it turns out his friend cooked up a homemade stink bomb. And yup, they dropped it right by the fireplace at the scout meeting. And boom, the whole place just stank. Leo's telling this story like it's no big deal, kind of expecting a chuckle, just a harmless little prank.
And hey, for a hot second, it actually works. His little brother Timmy just loses it. He thinks it's the funniest thing ever, starts banging on the table, and you can just imagine the relief washing over Leo. He's thinking, okay, good. They're gonna laugh. It's just a funny story after all. But, yeah, that laughter doesn't last long. The whole vibe at the table is about to take a nosedive because this harmless prank is suddenly about to get very, very serious. First, his sister Mary just shuts it down. It isn't funny, she snaps. Then his mom, Carol, she does that thing moms do, puts a hand on his shoulder with that look of, well, weary concern. She basically tells him, look, the world is a serious place right now. We expect more from you. And then his grandmother, Mémé, she just cuts right through all of it. She points out that, hey, this isn't about a bad smell, this is about the Scout Law. It's about being trustworthy, helpful, honorable, pretty much everything that Stink Bomb wasn't. And this is where you really see the two worlds collide, right? On one side, you've got Leo, who just sees a dumb prank. But on the other, his family sees, well, a failure of character. He went in hoping for a laugh, and he walked out with a lecture on duty and this heavy feeling of letting down his dad, who's off fighting in the war. That little bit of pride he had just soured into guilt. Okay, so things are looking pretty grim for Leo. But right when he's feeling the full weight of what he did, something starts to click. A little spark of an idea. A way to do more than just say sorry. A way to actually do something about it. So a little later, he's flipping through a book, and he sees this old photo from 1919. It's his grampy working with railroad guys during the Great War. And that picture connects with something else in his memory. An article he saw in the paper about collecting scrap metal for the current war. And bingo, that's it. The plan just forms in his head. What if he got his whole Boy Scout troop together? What if they could go down to the rail yard and collect scrap metal to help the war effort? This is it. This is how he can make it right. This is how he can show everyone he gets what it means to be a scout. He literally shouts out, I got it. You can just feel that sudden jolt of energy. This isn't just some plan. For Leo, it's a total lifeline. It's his chance to turn all that shame into something good. His grandfather, he gets it immediately. He doesn't just pat him on the back and say, nice idea. He tells him that's what a scout does. He validates it. It's not about pretending the stink bomb never happened. It's about learning from it. It's about, doing your part. All right, so the idea is great. Everyone's on board. But an idea is one thing. Making it happen, that's going to force Leo to grow up and fast. Yeah, this isn't as simple as, a weekend project. There are hurdles. First, he's got to convince his mom, who was already worried. Then they need to talk to a guy at the railroad, a Mr. Casey. And of course, Mr. Casey isn't the final boss. He's got his own boss, the general yardmaster. They call him the super, and he's the one who makes the final call. So they wait. It's pretty tense. Finally, Mr. Casey comes back with the news. And it's good news, kind of. The soup loves the idea, loves the spirit of it. He knows every piece of metal helps the soldiers. But There's always a but, right? He won't sign off on it without one very important step, a formal safety meeting. And that's the moment it really hits Leo. The excitement's still there, for sure, but now it's mixed with this very real, very adult sense of responsibility. Suddenly the whole thing, whether it succeeds, whether his friends stay safe, it's all on him.
So with that conditional yes, everything changes. Leo isn't just the kid who pulled a prank anymore. Now he's a leader. He's got a mission.
So what does he do? He gets his friends together and tells them everything. The plan, the meeting with the big boss, the safety meeting they've got to have, and he drops the magic words, official railroad business. And you know what? It works. His friends are totally in. You can just feel the excitement in the air, this new sense of purpose.
And that right there, that's the real transformation. Think about it. All that creative energy that went into a dumb prank, it's now being pointed at something real, something important. What was just a game is now a duty.
That's the big shift you see. They're not just a bunch of boys with wagons trying to kill time. They're scouts, and they've been given a real chance to prove that they can be just as dependable as the soldiers overseas. They are finally ready to do their part.
So you think back. Leo's whole story kicks off with something so small and silly, a stink bomb. But it wasn't the prank that defined him, was it? It was what he did after. It was his response to his own mistake that showed what kind of person he was really becoming. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Are we defined by our mistakes or by what we decide to do about them?